guys, today we're going to talk about what it means to have an active faith. And we're going to look in the book of James a little bit. But first of all, playing the game of softball, you know that there are hard times. There are times that if you were on a boat in the middle of the ocean, you could not hit water if you fell out of it, okay? I've been there. I know that there are times when you feel like everything is right and it's still wrong and you still miss. And there are times that, nothing's going right. And I kind of came to a point that's in that same situation last season when I started to become reactive to things instead of active. So when the ball was hit at me, I would wait to see where it went, or I would try to anticipate and it would go the wrong way. And I became reactive to whatever the ball was doing. I reacted to wherever the other players set up. I reacted to, the sun, the wind. I reacted to everything instead of being active and seeing exactly where I needed to be before all of this happened, right? So in James, we're talking about deeds and what it is to have faith and deeds at the same time. And he goes through a passage, I want to read it real quick, and he's talking about a man who needs something. He says, "Hey, suppose a brother or sister is without clothes and daily food. If one of you says to him, 'Go, I wish you well, keep warm and well fed,' but does not do anything about his physical needs, what good is it? In the same way, faith by itself, if it is not accompanied by action, is dead." So what does that mean exactly? Okay, well, faith and deeds, I've heard people say, "Oh, you know what, my deeds will save me, that's okay, I do good things, I'm a good person. That's okay, that's going to save me." And it's right here in the scripture. It says, you know what, you can do deeds, but that's not going to save you. Believing in the one true God is what's going to save you. But also, just having a faith and just sitting on it and maybe reacting to certain things that happen, it's not going to help you out much either. So being active in your faith, what does that mean? What does it mean to anticipate things like on the field? Does it mean that, we should, kind of just sit back and go through the motions and see what happens? No, it means that we need to go out and say, hey, be intentional with our friends, with our family, say, hey, you know what, this is why I believe what I do. This is why I spend so much time and so much effort in this, because God literally laid down his life to save me when he didn't even know me. He didn't know who I was. I mean, it's one thing to talk about dying for one of your friends, right? One of your family members, one of your people that you can't imagine living without, right? Jesus said, I don't care that I'm not close to them. I don't care that I haven't even met them yet. I don't care what they've done, but I'm going to die for them anyway. What kind of humility would that take? I know as kids we always say, oh yeah, I would die for my friend, or I would this, but that, but if we really put ourselves to the wire, I'm not really sure how many of us could really stick with that. That's something really hard to even think about. So having an active faith, going out and saying, okay, I'm going to take what the scriptures taught me, take what Jesus has taught me, and say, all right, I'm going to use this in my community. I'm going to volunteer. I'm just going to be there for my friends when they need to talk. Simple things like that. It's not a huge thing saying, hey, I need you to go to Africa, and not knocking missionaries at all, but there are certain people who are called for that, and there are certain people who are called for their community. So don't forget sometimes that, it can be easy to see, all your friends or other people going on mission trips and saying, well, I'm not really sure where I fit into that. There is just as much as a chance of a mission right around you, on your team, at home, in your city, around you, at school. I mean, there are so many people that are hurting and needing God's love that either haven't heard of it or they don't really understand what it is. So rather than reacting to those things and kind of having, a kind of sitting on our heels, waiting for things to happen, we're on our toes, we're being active and ready for whatever the world throws at us, whatever comes at us, whatever God says, hey, I need you to go do this, and you say, what? You want me to do what? I don't think so. But being active and saying, okay, God, what do you need me to do here? What is it that I can do to help this person out, or to grow stronger in my faith, and to, progress and get closer to you? So that's what having an active faith means to me, and as well as on the field. I mean, it's extremely important. We can't anticipate what's going to happen if we're not being active. If we're sitting on our heels, we've already been beat, right? So just encourage you to be active with your faith and really dive into what it says in James about this, because it's really important, and it's something I think that can be looked over a little bit. But really look at what he has to say and pray about it, think about it, whatever God's asking you to do with this. And I would encourage you to be active in whatever it is God has put on your heart.